I think at this point it's a very good segue to talk about the types of goals, different types of goals, and there are several different types of goals. So these daily, weekly, and if you can see all the way down here, we also have monthly, quarterly, yearly, 5 years, and 10 years. We mentioned a little bit earlier about career goals, friends, family, so this is one type of goals. Now the second type of goal types are these time-based goals. So we have daily, weekly, monthly, all the way to 10 years. So the idea behind it is to separate different goals into how important they are and how long-term or how short-term they are. So let's say if I create a daily goal, this goal is basically a very small goal that should be done or should be finished in that particular day only. So it shows, let's say if you create a new daily goal for today, it only shows you, or let's say for tomorrow, this is a new daily goal and you set a deadline for tomorrow. It will not show up today, it will only show up tomorrow, and this daily goal will actually contribute something, or when you finish it, it will be a little one step closer to finishing or reaching your weekly goal. So let's say, there is this theory, that's actually from time management theory, that everybody should have long-term goals, middle-term goals, and short-term goals. So this is where it comes from. And we actually add bigger gradation here. Normally the time management theories say that a short-term, middle-term, long-term would be okay. So you set your goals. Let's say long-term, you always start with long-term. A lot of theories say long-term goals would be, say, 5 years out. What would you like to achieve, let's say, as a company in 5 years in your strategic area? In terms of a strategy, what would you like to achieve in 5 years in terms of revenue? That would be a financial goal, etc., etc. So you say, and let's take this example. Let's say I'd like to have a long-term goal for a company to achieve $10 million revenue, or let's say $1 billion revenue in 5 or 10 years. So this would be our 5-year goal. Now, to achieve this 5-year goal, let's split it up into several yearly goals. So for example, in the first year, we'd like to achieve, let's say, 100 million revenue. In the second year, we will achieve 200, etc., etc., and all the way up to the final goal. If you can imagine this actually builds a tree structure where you first define a long-term goals and go all the way down to short-term goals that ultimately support the achievement of those long-term goals. Is that clear?
Yes.
And you will actually have a very nice visual representation of this when we look at the goals tab and the tab goals. Okay, so this is basically this daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. It's all about the long-term or short-term, long-term goals. How short-term or how long-term those goals are. You can set a new 10-year goal, or you can set a new daily goal. So this is really how big the goal is in terms of its scope, in terms of its effect. Okay, so these are basically types of goals that we have. What is interesting also here is this next select box where it says all near-term, future, completed, delayed, discarded. This is another interesting filter that you can set to view different goals. So for example, when you select near-term, and this filter really works based on type of the goal that you have. So for example, daily goal, near term for daily goals would be to show all the goals that are supposed to be done by today or by the current day, because it's near term for daily. And those that were delayed, they also show up as red. They have this red font color to them. And when you scroll down, the pending goals that are still pending, that were not finished but are not delayed yet, they have normal black color. And finished goals have a little green check mark behind them, so you see that it's completed. And you can basically filter those. Future goals, let's go back to this select box. Future goals are basically all the goals that will take place. For example, for the daily goals, for the daily type goal, all the future goals are all the daily goals that have their deadline in the future. So let's say you set a few daily goals next week or next month. It's not important, it's not urgent, but it's good to have it done by a certain date. You don't want to be reminded of those goals earlier, but they will come up to you in this near-term view when at that time period that you've set. So this would be, for example, for daily. Now when you select a weekly goal, the same goes true with weekly. So near term for weekly would be this week. Near term for monthly would be this month. Quarterly this quarter, and all the way to 10 years. And basically the same logic holds true for future, completed, delayed, discarded. Okay, any questions so far?
No.
It is actually
No.
pretty important to
pretty straightforward.
understand this concept. This is one of the cornerstones of project management and time management.
Exactly.
Different goals and how they relate to each other.